Welcome into the latest edition of the Steelin' with the Boys podcast. I am your host, Junnie Riddle, here, along with my boys,
Jawuan Williams and Coach Campbell.
Fellas, Steelers about to wrap up their bye week. We took a bye week as well, but the last time we had heard, we were previewing the game on Monday Night Football against the New York Giants. The Steelers handled business against the G-Men, walking away with a 26-18 victory. I would say the game wasn't as close as the score would say, but nevertheless, that is how it went down. Steelers are getting healthier, and they're heading on the road to take on the Washington Commanders at a 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 Central kickoff, which is probably, outside the primetime games, I'd say it's the game of the week this week.
I would say so.
But all in all, fellas, again, kind of getting into the Giants game, a lot of opportunities missed for the Steelers, 3 red zone trips, 3 field goals. Nevertheless, they still get it going, they still get a win, and they still looked pretty impressive while doing it. So what were some of your all's takeaways from the game?
Just like you said, the red zone trips. I mean, we had 2 touchdowns in the red zones that got called back. One for, a face mask.
Yep, on Broderick.
On Broderick Jones. And the other one was, 2 feet. I think, one comment real quick. I think 2 feet, even if it's the same foot, should count as a touchdown. I mean, you saw Garrett Wilson's touchdown. He gets his calf in and barely gets it in, and that's counted as a touchdown. But if a guy sits there and jumps on 1 foot he could jump on 1 foot 1,000 times, and it's not a touchdown. It just doesn't make sense to me. I think they need to change that rule. They need to look into it, and 2 of the same feet should count as a touchdown. But other than that, the defense looked good. We just kind of got ran on against Tyrone Tracy, a no-name running back. We got to shore up that run defense a little bit. But the offense again looked good, moved the ball up and down the field. And like Junnie said, I don't think the score really indicates how much control we had in that game. I feel like we really had that game under control the whole time. I really wasn't worried at all. But we just got to score more points, score more touchdowns. But 26 points again, we can't complain about a 26-point outing.
Definitely can't complain about that. But back to what you were saying, the red zone. I think all big plays this year, even when Justin was playing, all big plays, it always was a flag on Broderick. And it's like a continuous thing that I'm pretty sure Tomlin is looking at, because it's like every time it's a big play, he's holding or face mask or something like that. And it's getting pretty repetitive when it's not supposed to. You know how to play Broderick.
That face mask, it was so unnecessary in that moment.
Unnecessary. Just like the one when it was against Denver, and it was that 51-yard pass to Pickens. The same way.
Unneeded hold.
That unreal throw that Fields, probably the best throw Fields made all season while he was still in the starting position. And again, just, the holding penalty when Justin already kind of has that angle towards the sideline. But yeah, no, the woes with Broderick Jones, if there's anything to take away negative-wise, it has to be Broderick Jones. I feel like he's letting up at least a sack a game. Guys are just blowing right by him. Sometimes it doesn't seem like he's getting a really good jump off the line, or he's I feel like it's more like mental lapses with him. It's not the capability. It's the mental aspect of him kind of just staying focused in the moment. I think part of that has to do with his confidence in that he's always second-guessing himself, or he's second-guessing his abilities. And, when he came in last year, we traded up for him in the first round. He made his way into the starting lineup, and everybody praised him because when he came in last season, he was some sort of the savior. Now it's quite the opposite, and people are treating him like he's the problem, which, again, to their credit, he is. But that's the one thing that I'm really looking forward to see after this bye week. What is Broderick Jones going to play like? Can he get out of this rut? Because I think we can all sit here and agree that he's better than what he's been playing.
He is.
And I think that's the most frustrating aspect of it.
We didn't waste a first-round pick on him for no reason.
No. He's an athletic freak. He's physical. Even today, I would still say he's still a really good run blocker. It's just something going on in the pass protection aspect of things doesn't seem right. And I just think personally that it has to be. I think, a lot of people are saying that we should have went out and traded for a veteran or somebody that could kind of hold that right side down. I'm kind of in the opposite boat of this argument, and you all can jump in on this as well, that when it comes to Broderick Jones, I would really like to see them kind of double down on him and to maybe try and like insert a new confidence. It's the second half of the season. We're already in a good place. If you step up, we're going to be in a better place, and maybe kind of use it from that aspect to try and get the best out of him. What do you all think of that?
I agree. I think you got to keep him there. You got to let him just work through his woes. This bye week, I hope, helped him. I also don't think he was fully healthy. So hopefully this bye week helped him get healthy. I know something with his elbow at the beginning of the year has been a problem. So hopefully he could heal up and just get right back on track. And to his credit as well, we haven't had the same starting offensive line for consecutive weeks, I don't think, at all. Maybe these past 2 games was the first time we had a consecutive same starting line, and it's not going to be the same come Washington. Like, we're getting Zach Frazier back. I'm not sure nobody else on the line's coming back, but Zach Frazier's coming back, so it's back to another center. But to your credit, I mean, I think you keep him in there. You let him work through this. He has to be our right tackle right now, and for the foreseeable future, he's going to be our right tackle. I did see something that Falatanu might be able to make it back by the end of the year, but we'll see. So, Broderick, we got to rock with you, and you gotta get it done.
Yeah, like how y'all saying, I'll rock with him. I never had like a thought of like replacing him as like the trade deadline was approaching, because I just think that he's going through a little slump right now. But I mean, he'll gain his confidence back, especially like how you said, after the bye week. You had a week of just rest, get yourself healthy, get yourself better, get ready for this Sunday.
Okay.
But other than that, I do have something to say about this defense that I really, really don't like.
Okay, go ahead.
This defense. Why are we continuing to let unknown receivers dominate us? I just don't understand why we keep on letting these I'm not unknown receivers, unknown running backs dominate us, because they keep on getting 100 yards and we never really heard of them. Like this.
Well, to the credit, I don't think the run defense has been, as good as it should be, because as of right now, and this is going into this game, we are 4th in the NFL against the run. Now, I get it. We have a bad taste in our mouth because Tracy ran for, 145 yards, 150 yards against us, and had that big touchdown. But we are still doing really good, and I believe he's the only running back against us that has gotten over 100 yards.
No, wasn't it? Who's the Cowboys running back? Didn't he get over 100 yards?
No, Dowdle was doing better than what he had been. The whole thing with Dallas was they weren't hitting that 4-yard per carry clip. They were more in the mid 3s and in the high 2s. Now he did average, more than 4 yards a carry against us and looked pretty good down the stretch, but I don't believe he had 100 yards. I think Tracy was the first one. So, I get what you're saying, and I understand that the run defense needs to get better, but at the same time, I don't think it's as bad as we're doing. I feel like we have a really bad sour taste in our mouth from this last game because the Giants did that. And not only did the Giants do it against us, but they went ahead and did it against Washington last week too. So I think it's more the Giants have kind of found something in their offense that's working rather than something that's like a huge problem on our defense. Would you agree with that, Trey?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I have no rebuttal to that. I think that he just, and I think a lot of his like yards and things came on like a 3rd and long. Like he broke a bunch of long runs on either a 2nd and long or 3rd and long where we're kind of in our dime defense or our nickel defense and don't have like our base defense in there. So I think a lot of that came from that. He had one big run on a draw. I know that was like a 30-yard run.
Yeah.
So you take a couple of those away on an unexpected rundown. He doesn't have that great of a game, but I I think we held our own when we were in our base defense and, kind of in run situation downs.
Now I will give Jawuan this credit, though. The run defense can definitely be better.
Way better.
It absolutely can be better. And I think from what I've been hearing, and I'm somebody that I like to listen to the reporters that are in the locker room that are talking to the players. To Jawuan's credit, just the way he's fired up about the defense not playing the run game as well as we think that they should be, the players are kind of saying the same thing that you are as well.
Yeah.
They're not happy with their performance, and they want to step that up, and that's like the number one thing that they're looking to do. I think DK on his podcast that I was listening to this week, he used a metaphor or just a saying that said, you could literally wish those guys Merry Christmas, and they're going to tell you we need to be better against the run. Like that's the defense's mentality right now. So you're not alone. You're not alone.
I'm glad it's the mentality.
I just don't think it's necessarily as bad, because I was feeling the same way after the Cowboys game. I was feeling the same way after this Giants game, and I was like, man. But then when I actually dove in and looked at the stats, I was like, yeah, maybe it's not that bad, and maybe it is just a few things here and there that we need to clean up.
I just, like I said, and we're gonna keep on saying it, we had a bye week. I hope we got everything together, and I hope we're ready for this road ahead. That's my main thing.
Last thing I want to touch on before we move on, because we are going to get to the trade deadline that just happened on Tuesday, ended at 4:00 Eastern. Steelers made 2 really good moves, but before we get to that, Jawuan, any updates on how we are feeling about the quarterback change? The last time we were together, you were still not for it. You still needed to see more. Are you kind of starting to see what Russ can bring to the offense, or do you still need to see more to feel confident in that decision?
I like what Russ is doing with the offense, getting everybody involved. But I still need to see more. I still need to see more, and the reason why I'm saying this, like I said last week, we're playing the Giants and the Jets. Now, there are 2 under 500 teams that have all right defenses. Well, the Jets have a better defense than the Giants, but
Giants defense they've been playing better, but on paper the Jets have way more
they
studs.
got the best defense. So I just need to see this week. That's why this week is big. This was the start of a long road. So I feel like this game coming up, we play a top team in the NFC East, in the NFC period. I just want to see Russ showcase a well-performed game against a good team. That's really it. That's all. That's all I had to see.
I'm still on the Rush train. One thing I did want to mention before we do get to the trade deadline talks is the people that we're getting back this week after the bye.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
So, we have Medikevich, Mr. Old Red. He's coming back. That's big on the special teams. Nick Herbig was a full participant or limited participant, so we'll see where that goes. If he practices full tomorrow, I could see him playing this week as well. Zach Frazier was a full participant all week. And one thing that it doesn't look good is McCole Pruitt has a new knee injury. So it looks like we might be without him this week. Justin Fields is back. He is full participant. Ben Skoranek, which I forgot he was even on our team, was a full participant. So he's back on.
He's a good gunner on special teams. Yeah. He has a good role.
And Cordell Patterson. He's back. He's full participant, so we'll have him back as well, which he helped with the run game. Our run game's going well.
Now, Patterson, that is something, and that's an interesting situation with him, because with Najee having back-to-back 100-yard games, well, last 3 games has been 100-yard games. With him and bringing back Warren that just came off an injury, and now bringing back Patterson, I wonder how Arthur Smith will, put them in the right spots, I would say.
You know what I think? I think we're going to see some 2 running back sets, and just
a lot of them.
Just a mixture between all 3 guys. I mean, this is something just going forward that I'm super excited about, and I was telling you all about. We have not seen this team all year long play with a full stable of running backs and a full stable of edge rushers. The two things that we want to do the most on offense, we want to dominate the line of scrimmage. We want to control the clock and the time of possession with running the football and to set up big shots in the play action with that. That's our identity on offense. Our identity on defense is to stop the run and get to the quarterback and cause chaos in the backfield. The two things that this team wants to do the best, they can finally reach their potential to do with this added depth, and not to mention the additives that they got in the trade deadline. So really exciting stuff getting those guys back. This is the healthiest the Steelers have been all season because they came in this year, banged up in some pivotal areas. But yeah, I am very much so looking forward to these next couple weeks with some added extra help.
Not to mention, we get Cam Sutton back from suspension, so that will help with our secondary. With help Beanie Bishop, will help that Corey Trice is still out.
Junnie's favorite.
Yep, Beanie Bishop. But
502 boys.
But I think that just helps like versatility if one of those cornerbacks would get injured or just banged up during the game. Cam Sutton can play inside, he can play outside, he can even play the safety position. So just added depth to our
that's a good additive. He can play the safety position. It's the one thing. Safeties are. I feel like outside of Mika, we don't have a lot of speed at safety. Cam Sutton can change that.
Yep.
You know where else we're getting help at this week? The wide receiver position. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
That brings us to the trade deadline. All offseason, Omar Khan in this front office has been trying to get us a wide receiver. Not only did he get us a wide receiver, but he got us some extra help coming off the edge. The two moves the Steelers made in the waning hours on Tuesday's deadline, they trade a 5th-round pick to the New York Jets to go out and get Mike Williams, who they'd been rumored to go and get for weeks since the Jets came to town. And then they also sent a 7th-round pick to the Green Bay Packers to go and get outside linebacker Preston Smith. Smith has been a part of the Packers for years, and we were kind of having this discussion in our group chat. And for the longest, the Packers were a 3-4 defense, just like us, and he was playing outside linebacker. He was requesting a trade this year, which, again, I guess a lot of people didn't know about because we didn't know he was on the block, because the Packers had moved to a 4-3 and just wasn't a good scheme fit, wasn't what he particularly liked to play in. And so now he's back in the system that he likes to play in. And not only that, but he's, joining one of the best defenses in the entire NFL. Both of them, I think, are good additions to this team. Like the Preston Smith one a little bit more than the Mike Williams one. But definitely Mike Williams is going to come in and make a contribution to the wide receiver room, 100%.
Would you say that we won the trade deadline?
No. I wouldn't say we won compared to like everybody else. I'd say we won as like a team getting better. Like definitely the additions we made have made us a better team, but when you're talking about the Bills getting Amari Cooper or the Chiefs getting DeAndre Hopkins for the same price that we got Mike Williams, when you're talking about the team we played this weekend, the Commanders, going and getting Marshawn Lattimore from the Saints, like those are some bigger moves that I think that are going to have more of an impact. I mean, we just saw DeAndre Hopkins score 2 touchdowns in their Monday night game against the Bucs, so. I would say we definitely got better. It's definitely something that we can't be upset about, but I wouldn't say that we won the trade deadline. Even the Ravens getting Deontay Johnson. I mean, as much as we hate to hear that, a guy that has led the league in separation yards for a long time, with the amount of time Lamar Jackson can give him running around the backfield, I mean, that could be a really good fit for him too. So I would say we definitely got better. Wouldn't say we won the trade deadline.
I would say we got better for sure. I think those are two positions that we seen what happened when our outside linebackers went down. When Nick Herbig went down and Alex Highsmith was still out, we didn't really have anything behind them, and it showed in those games that they were not playing, especially in the run game. And I think Preston Smith's a great outside linebacker. I feel like he's versatile. Like we were talking about in our group chat, like he's kind of like that Liao guy. He can play He can probably play a 3 technique, and he can also play outside linebacker. He's a big guy. He could definitely play that 3 technique, in my opinion. And then Mike Williams, we were rumored to host him for a visit, and he didn't get out of the Jets facility. I think he probably would have signed with us earlier. He's now on the team. For a 5th-round pick, I was not super happy about it being a 5th-round pick. Like you said, the Chiefs got D-Hop for a 5th.
Maybe a bit of an overpay, but
yeah, a little bit of overpay, but at that point, we need somebody. So I'm glad we got him. We had 2 5th-round picks already, so to lose one, no hurt at all.
And we also had 2 7th-round picks. So I mean, really, this is why the Steelers make moves. They stockpile picks, and when they need to, they're able to give up some because they have an abundance. So this was one of those situations.
So, I'm gonna bring it up on the pod since nobody's bringing it up. So I'm here to say this: Omar Khan. All right, we're diehards. Okay, all 3 of us. All right, but I was doubting you. I'm not gonna lie. You can ask Junnie. Me and Junnie was going.
This man was in the group chat. I was out eating breakfast with my family, and I was trying to console Jawuan from not caving in and dissing Omar Khan, because I think throughout the offseason, with all the rumored moves and the teases that we've had of who we had coming, we just didn't. He was losing faith. I just got
tired of getting my heart broken. So when all this was going on, and the time was going down, and I was like, man, I'm starting to question Omar Khan. Like, I think we're giving them too much. We're giving them too much credit. And me and Junnie was going back and forth on it. But as soon as it happened, a person I said, Mike Williams, I think this is perfect for us. I think that Mike Williams and George Pickens are like the same. But the only thing is, Mike Williams is older. Like, he does everything that George Pickens does. Well, he used to do everything. We got to see more now because he didn't really do it with the Jets.
He had some plays. If you go and look at
not like the Chargers.
No.
I'm talking about like Chargers.
Not even close. But but that's the thing is like, we're not asking him to be what he was at the Chargers. We're asking him to kind of, give us a play, here or there. Maybe catch 3 balls a game, not catching like 7 or 8. Because back then when it was him and Keenan Allen, both of those guys were so in and out of the lineups, it was like they were both the Chargers' #1 receiver, just depended on, who was injured and who wasn't. Mike Williams still has that go up and high point the ball capability. And he was even mentioning it when he was talking to the media this week. He said, I can still do that. This offense likes to, play action and throw it up and, comeback routes. He goes, that's my specialty. So yeah. I think he's more of a fit here with Russ than he is with, Aaron Rodgers, who, like when he threw him under the bus for the interception on the Bills game. Aaron wants you to be in a certain spot so that he can throw it and be like pinpoint accurate. Russell wants you to go up and fight and get the ball. And I think that's kind of more like what Mike Williams wants to do.
The way I'm looking at this one, I mean, the trade's great. I like the Mike Williams trade. I think this is kind of going back to when Arthur Smith was OC for the Titans. He had Mr. A.J. Brown, and he had that Corey Davis. 2 big body receivers, 2 guys that can go up and get it, do contested catch stuff, catching traffic. I think it's very similar to that. Like, you have your George Pickens, who's going to be your 1. He'll make most of the plays, make all the splash plays. But Corey Davis, low-key, had a great year that same year when he had A.J. Brown on the other side.
Nearly had 1,000 yards.
And that's what I'm saying. I think this is very comparable. You have 2 big body receivers on the outside. I think that's what Arthur Smith likes. And, like, I know we were looking at a bunch of other receivers, and like instead of having like GP and Cooper Kupp, which I love Cooper Kupp, I think Arthur Smith really wanted 2 big body receivers. You have the Twin Towers on the outside, go up and get it, and that's where we're going to get our big splash plays from.
I really think this benefits players like Firemouth, Jefferson, and Austin.
I do too.
100%.
Because the middle is about to be, I think, especially for Firemouth, the middle is about to be like
open season.
And because people going to be worried about the two on the outside, and you don't even really have to have a safety on top of either one, Williams or Pickens now, because now you got to worry about the three. You have to worry about Austin, fire move, Jefferson. I don't want to go off the edge. This is why I'm saying this is a big game for Russ. You have all the weapons. You have all the weapons in the world. We're giving you the keys to take us. Let's start. First, playoffs. You have to take us to the playoffs. We have to win games. We have to win meaningful games. And with the meaningful games, it's going to take us to the playoffs. With this team, with this offense now, I didn't even get to the defense yet, but with this offense now, we have the right moves. We just, Mr. Unlimited, that's all I'm asking. Where's Mr. Unlimited? And I have to see him for the last 9 weeks.
Absolutely. And not only do I think that this opens up for, the guys you mentioned, Freiermuth, Calvin Austin, Van Jefferson, but, we haven't seen a lot of GP over the middle. And I think, like, in some of his big plays that we saw last year, the big throw over the 70-yard touchdown against the Browns that really opened that game up when the offense couldn't get anything going. The game against the Bengals towards the tail end of the season, that 90-yarder, the quick slant, and he just outruns everybody and takes it to the house. When GP is able to, really diversify his route running capability, which I think that now that he's not only the true deep threat in this offense, and you have another guy that can go up and get those big time balls in the air, I think this is going to just really diversify the offense, not only with the running game, the addition of all three backs being healthy, getting a new wide receiver in here that can do something similar. I think it just makes it a lot harder for defenses to predict what we're doing with just a simple addition of a guy like a Mike Williams, even at this stage of his career. But Jawuan was already talking about it. I think we kind of really hit on these trades really well. Preston Smith, a lot of added depth on the D-line on the edge. Mike Williams, just adding another really good addition to this wide receiver room and making them more versatile. But now it's all got to get put into place. The Steelers are as healthy as they have been all season long, and they, by all accounts, are probably going into, which is going to be one of their hardest games of the season, on the road against the Washington Commanders. Trey, I want to start with you on this. What is your first thought process when you're going into a game like this, coming off a bye, getting healthy, but you're also playing a red-hot team like the Washington Commanders?
I mean, Mike Tomlin does a great job of getting the guys right back on track. I'm sure in practice this week, it's like a normal practice, like that bye week didn't even happen. I mean, you've seen his record. I have it here. He is, after a bye, Mike Tomlin is 13-4 in his career. Not to mention he's playing a rookie quarterback. He's 25-6 versus rookie quarterbacks. I mean, I think the team will be right back at it. I don't think they'll miss a step. I think if anything, they're going to be firing on more cylinders. You have a whole week to prepare. I'm sure they talk through all the film, things that they were doing wrong and things that they need to work on. And they're probably working on that right now. Well, I hope they're working on that right now. But I mean, one thing it would be interesting to see is to, like, have everybody back and see kind of what their roles would be. What the rotation, like we talked about, the rotation with the running backs, how often Mike Williams is going to play in this game with him only getting a week with us, the rotation outside linebacker. Like, those are the things that I'm going to want to see and see how the offense is going to work with the backs being back and the defense with just a rotation and getting Cam Sutton back. But I think they'll be right back into it, man. You play a rookie quarterback, their offense is moved. So this is a big test for the defense. I think this has to be the biggest test the defense had all year. Like, he's Jaden Daniels is in the MVP talk. He's pretty much locked up on getting offensive rookie of the year, in my opinion. So just playing against a good quarterback, a great offensive coordinator in Cliff Kingsbury. I know I wanted him in our offseason. I think Jaden Daniels is a perfect fit for his offense. So my biggest matchup is going to be our defense versus that offense this week. and they need to step up. That's my opinion.
Yeah, my biggest. I'm not really too worried about the defense. I'm really excited to see the defense because that defensive line is very scary. But I think our wide receivers versus their DBs is mine because, like how you said, the addition of Lattimore. So
they said he didn't practice today, so I'm not sure how much he's going to play, or if he's going to play.
Yeah, he is questionable here. So that will be something to look out for, and how good will he be, as well? Just getting traded a couple days ago, similar to Mike Williams. Like, how much is he going to play? What's his impact going to be like?
Do you think Mike Williams is going to play that much?
I think it's easier to plug in a receiver than it is to plug in a corner.
Yeah.
I think, like, is he going to have a full snap count? Obviously, no, but maybe get like 10 to 15. Russ in the huddle just says, hey, I want you to run this. Hey, I want you to run that. Just kind of like giving him a crutch this first game to really kind of settle in. I think he's going to get used.
Because I was going to say, like, Deontay Johnson last week, really, he didn't do nothing.
I don't think he even played.
Yeah, and he
didn't have a target. I know that for sure.
Yeah. So.
But the matchup that I'm going to be looking forward to in this is the Commanders are 30th in the NFL right now against the run. They allow their opponents to rush 5.2 yards per carry. A lot of times that doesn't matter because they are typically up in these matchups. But I think this is a game where Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, Cordell Patterson, as much as these guys are going to get the ball, I think that they're going to have to really lead the charge. I agree with you, Jawuan, that this team and its secondary isn't that good. I can never pronounce this guy's name, but it's the rookie out of Michigan, Mike Centristal. I don't know how to say his name. He's been really good. No, absolutely no. I mean, this kid's really good. Jeremy Chin, the safety, he's a really big guy that makes tackles in the open field. But I mean, you're talking about these corners for the Commanders. That's a huge liability. They've allowed some big plays down the field. I really think that they kind of lean in on Quinn's defense and just they're fundamentally sound. Also, the fact that there's no Jonathan Allen in this game, it's just going to be Daron Payne. So that double duo on the interior of that defensive line is going to take a hit as well. Still got Bobby Wagner, Dante Fowler. These are the front seven of this defense is where it's really good. But if they can establish the run, take some shots on play action and really get that's where I think that this team is really going to start to settle in on offense. And if they can do that and keep up with the Commanders' offense, then I think we're going to be in a good spot. Quickly, I do want to kind of get into this whole, Commanders' offense. Obviously, like Trey said, Mike Tomlin's record against rookie quarterbacks are really good. But I feel like Jaden Daniels in the rookie year that he's having has been one of the better rookie seasons by a quarterback that we've seen in a long time. I mean, you're talking about taking a Commanders team that picked second in the draft, and now I think they're second in the entire NFC, only behind the Lions right now. They're playing really, really well. Brian Robinson might not play in this game. I think that would be huge if he didn't play. I think he's the back that could really hurt the Steelers in this matchup. Austin Eckler, I don't think so. But, talking about this offensive line, this rebuild offensive line that they've done in Washington, it was one of the worst in the NFL last year. I'd say bottom three. But they go out and get a center, and they go out and get a right tackle, and this unit in general is just very much so improved. I'm not very much so worried about the run game in this matchup when it comes to our defense, and I'm also really not worried about the deep shots because we know the Commanders like to take a lot of deep shots down the field, but what I'm worried about is those in the middle of the field throws. I feel like if there's one weakness that we have against a passing offense is we let those 10 to 15 yards, kind of that middle of the field, those mid-range passes kind of get through us and can kind of hurt us through that. That's the one thing I'm really concerned about when it comes to this offense. Jaden's not going to have a lot of time to make those deep throws. And also, I don't believe that they're going to establish the run the way that the Giants did against us in our previous game on Monday night. So it's those intermediate passes that I'm really worried about.
Gotcha. I would agree. I mean, Zach Ertz has been playing well too. I know he's older. That could be a matchup to watch out for. Zach Ertz against our linebackers over the middle of the field. So yeah, I do like that. I do like that point that you brought up, Junnie.
I also wouldn't sleep on Austin Eckler at all.
Maybe Eckler in the passing game, the way that Breece Hall kind of tore. Breece Hall had over 100 yards receiving against us. I mean, with Austin Eckler, I'm not worried about him running down the field on us, but I definitely think that they could use him in certain ways that he could hurt us for sure.
I just wouldn't sleep on him. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right, Austin Eckler then. But all in all, I mean, I think this is going to be a really good game. So we're going to go ahead and get into our score predictions for this matchup. Trey, we'll start with you first. Steelers at Commanders.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay. Steelers at Commanders. All right. Well, with this game, I do have us winning. I think this will be it might be higher scoring than most would anticipate. Like you said, their defense, I think we get the ground game running or going, and then we can play that play action off of it. Our defense might have a little trouble. Cliff Kingsbury runs a great offense, knows how to scheme it up and how to get people open and get points on the board. So I have the Steelers winning with Mike Tomlin's record, after the bye and against rookie quarterbacks. I have the Steelers winning this game 28-24.
Okay. In my opinion, with two high scoring offenses, I got this game pretty high. So I have it 31-27 Steelers.
31-27. This game could go a lot of different ways. It really can.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, I genuinely can see this being a shootout. I genuinely believe this is going to be could also be a defensive rock fight as well with the two defensive head coaches here. It could come down to that. I'm going to kind of go somewhere in the middle here. I think the Steelers win this game. I really do. I think the Steelers can get to Jaden Daniels more than any other team that he's played can. I think they're going to disrupt him a lot. I also like the way the Steelers are going to be able to run the ball in this game. That's what they want to do. So because those are our two strengths and because just the way that this matchup is, I think that we can get that done. I am picking the Steelers. I'm going Steelers 26-23 over the Commanders. I think it's a field goal game. And I think it's going to be a really, really good one to kind of kick off those first slate of games this Sunday. So with that, let's get into our steal of the week. Trey, you're the man with the lines. What's the line? What's it looking like? Some of the player props. It is Thursday, so we should have player props already out. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir. I know the Steelers are favored in this game.
Favored on the road, really?
On the road, yep. I mean, that's what I saw earlier this week. Let me just pull it up real quick.
Well, that's another thing, too, is when the line opened, the Commanders were favored as first. So you're saying that the money is kind of moving towards the Steelers. The Sharps think the Steelers.
They were favored. Oh, now they're underdogs. They're a 3-point underdog on the road.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
I could have swore I saw that. I saw it on TV somewhere, but I guess they were wrong. Yeah, we're an underdog. The over-under is 45. So I think we all hit the over. Yeah, we all hit the over. You did.
Yeah, I had 49 total.
Yep. So yeah, those are the lines. Let's see what the props look like here. We have touchdown scores. Let's see here. We have Najee Harris anytime is -110. Brian Robinson Jr., although he might not play, is -105. Jaden Daniels is the next one there. So I'm gonna go. I think this is a big game for George Pickens, especially if Marshawn Lattimore don't play. I would go with the George Pickens touchdown, especially since he got screwed out of 2 touchdowns last week or 2 weeks ago. I think he has a big game. I think he gets his touchdown that he deserves. And I would I think it's a big game for George. I'm going to go George Pickens anytime touchdown score, and then I'm going to go George Pickens 80-plus yards. I don't know what his receiving props are. But that's what I got so far. You guys have any questions on the lines? George Pickens receiving is actually 63. His line is at 63.5.
Okay.
I would take the over in that game.
I would take the over. But
He's
I'm
had-
gonna go 80. I'm gonna go 80 plus.
All right. I feel like this is a game for fire move. So give me fire move for anytime touchdown.
His line is at 26.5 yards.
Give me 50 yards for fire move.
Ooh.
50 yards for fire move and a touchdown.
I'm not gonna lie, that was the direction I'm going. I think that's sharp.
Yeah, and then also give me 70 yards for Najee Harris.
His line's at 63.5.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna go that route. I really was, but I had a backup option because I thought somebody else would think the same as well. So good thinking, Jawuan. My backup option, because I was gonna kind of go with that. I think this is gonna be a Freiermuth game. I think they're gonna the defense and what Quinn likes to do. I think he's gonna try and take away George as much as possible. And so I like Freiermuth in the passing game. But there's somebody on our team that doesn't have a touchdown yet this season, and I think he's due, especially after a bye week and starting to get his legs under him. I think that's Jaylen Warren. In this game, Washington's very physical. I'm not saying that they're going to stop Najee Harris. I think Najee's still going to have a solid game. But I just think when it comes down to the red zone and maybe getting a little bit more speed, I see Jaylen Warren maybe ripping off like a 15-yarder when we're just inside the red zone there and really kind of shocking the defense with his speed and getting in with a touchdown. Give me Jaylen Warren anytime touchdown. Trey, do you have his over/under on yards?
They don't have his over and under on here.
Oh, they don't.
For his yards. But I will say his touchdown score, anytime touchdown score, is plus 240.
Plus 240. I like those odds. And I'll just put it this way. I think Jaylen on the ground, give me 40-plus rushing yards for Jaylen Warren. And I'm also just going to double down with my man Jawuan here, 50-plus yards for Pat Freiermuth. I think those two guys get it done in this matchup, and that's what I like. That's what I like.
I got two more.
Okay, go ahead.
Give me Darnell Washington. I know his yards is not on there, but give me his over on yards. And give me over.
If you had to get an estimate over under in yards for Darnell, do they have it on there?
No, they don't have.
You said over
You're
under?
using the worst